So Washington State just passed a law allowing for bodies to be composted. Stay tuned and I'll tell you why this makes me happy. Hi everybody and welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Cherie and today I would like to talk about returning to the earth and green burials. So my intro sounded a little bit morbid when I was talking about composting bodies and why I'm happy about that. But there is a reason for this. So before I continue, I would just like to say that funerals, burials, cremations, all of these are personal choices, and don't let my opinion sway you. This is just how I want to approach it for myself, and just letting you know it, in case you didn't know, that there are other options out there and why I sort of advocate for them. A couple of weeks ago, Laura did a podcast with Lucinda Herring, and she wrote the book called Reimagining Death. And the book is fascinating, so if you haven't read it, I would suggest checking it out or buying a copy. And it's talking about green burials, and so is the podcast, and it's fascinating. There's tons of options out there that we all didn't know about, but it's also the fact that when you walk around or look around, you can tell from airplanes too how much space cemeteries take up. It's a lot. Like, there's just tons and tons of cemeteries out there that are loaded with coffins that are never going to disintegrate or are going to take forever to, with bodies that have been embalmed that are going to last a really, really long time before they actually decompose, and they're putting all those chemicals into the ground. The funeral industry is a little ridiculous too. When you have to have insurance policies just to be able to pay for you to be buried or cremated. It's crazy, and we don't have to do that if we don't want to. There are options, and it varies state to state, so this is something you have to look into, but hopefully a lot of our states will follow in Washington's footsteps and start allowing us better options. Now, one of the huge reasons I'm a big advocate for green burials is we should return back to the earth once we've lived this life. We consume things from the earth, whether that be plants, mushrooms, meat that have eaten from, when we eat cows have eaten grass, and so there's this cycle, and we take in that energy, that knowledge, that medicine, whatever's coming from it, the nutrition, everything. And it's a huge circle and a huge cycle. So we're taking all of that in, and then we should return that when we die, when our bodies go back to the earth and become nutrients for the plants. But that doesn't happen now because of embalming or the coffins that we use. That it's not a cycle anymore. We broke it up a little bit. Now I get it, and I understand that different religions and belief systems have different ways of burying people, but a lot of those are newer, and when I say newer, I'd say within the last century or so, ideas. Back in the day, our ancestors did not have these options of the casket that's going to last forever, or embalming you so that you are going to look like a nice corpse for a long time, or you're not going to decompose. I know the idea of decomposing and breaking down grosses people out sometimes because of what happens to the body, but the thing is, the bugs, the plants, all of that, the mycelium, the mushrooms, whatever, the fungi that happens, all of that is natural. It's supposed to. These are things that we're giving back to, that will give back to future generations, and it's great to keep that in mind, so that you're not so worried about the afterlife or what happens to your body. But also, it helps you to live better, live well, so you can die well. So I hope it's a little bit of food for thought. I'm not asking anybody to change their mind or pressure anybody into anything. because I know this is a really personal decision, but look into other options out there. There are some really cool ones, and they're working on even cooler ones, like packing our bodies into compostable material with seeds so that we could become trees. We're food for trees and stuff. How awesome is that? There's other ones where there's burial at sea, or so many options out there. Really, take the time, go listen to the podcast, get Lucinda's book. There's other books out there, I think, too. But, you know, think about it. Like, check out the other options. Have you thought about a green burial? Comment down below and let us know. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in another pan video.